Integrity. Knowing the good and doing it. Wouldn't it be great if there was an app that would help us know the right thing to do? Ah, you say. There would also need to be another app. One that gave us the courage and desire to do the right thing once we know it. Our dilemma is always closing the gap between what we know and what we actually do, so that they're like this. The gap between knowing what love is and loving, actually, is the heart of what the readings are about today. The reading from the prophet Jeremiah speaks of a new covenant with the people of Israel. The verses in chapter 31 represent a powerful, singular vision for the future and place that future in the hands of a loving God. In his prayerful reflection, Jeremiah realizes that the law and the covenant cannot be something that are external to us, that are outside of us. For hundreds of years, the Israelites had relied on the temple and the teachers of the law who lived and worked there. Later on, they do the equivalent of putting the law, the commandments, on their t-shirts. That is, they hang a pendant in front of their eyes so that they can see the Torah at all hours of the day and night. Still, they failed to keep the law. And that's why Jeremiah says that God will make a new covenant, and he will this time write it on their hearts. Because it is now inside of them and on their hearts, they will no longer even need to teach. There's no longer any need for religious education. What a deal. Does this work? Not by a long shot. Why not? The only person to ever fully, completely embody God's law is Jesus Christ. What I absolutely love about Jesus is that he never seems to be caught off balance. He never speaks in one way and then acts in another. Even when he's being tested with really hard questions, he's able to respond in a way that is consistent with God. If integrity is what you do when nobody is looking, Jesus never acts against himself. He never acts against the will of God. That's what integrity means. Jesus is the one who has the law written on his heart, who is completely in tune with the Father. Does this sound like an easy matter? It isn't. Jesus says, I am troubled now. And yet what should I say? Father, save me from this hour? But it was for this purpose that I came to this hour. These readings urge us to realize that we can never buy virtue off the rack at Fleet Farm or Macy's or Target. Virtue, a desire for holiness, a desire for integrity, always, always has to come from the inside out. It has to come from our hearts. It is not something that will ever be suddenly dropped on us, whole and complete, while we sleep. Rather, it is something that emerges from our everyday response to the Word of God and to the call of Jesus.